furious. I'm too fast for y'all, man.
Hey guys, Joel Richardson with 850 Fireman. Here to demonstrate some tools that we carry for our RIT, for our little RIT Minute that we're going over today. So we have a pair of multi-tool, a lineman's pliers, a small little wire cutter, and then the bad boy, the big side cutters. So we're going to talk about the difference of having them with your RIT company or with your RIT bag or on your person or whatever the case is, and why you should have them and which one works best. So most of the ones that we probably carry are these two styles, the lineman's pliers and the side cutters. They work well for good things, but as we're going to see here in just a second, if you could carry something that works for everything, why not carry that? All right, so just something simple. We have our regular little small gauge wire, lineman's pliers, the multi-tool going through. So some of the bad things about this one is you have to bring it all the way into the jaws, but the good thing is you have the most fulcrum there in order to get your pressure. You have to wiggle it back and forth, finally comes out, right? So the next one is our lineman's tool. Again, you have the teeth up here, so you have to set it all the way in. Bring it in, no problem, all right? Little side cutters, teeth all the way through, so you don't have to worry about it as much. But now you got a shortened handle versus our other tools, so you're gonna have a little issue with that. So you go to put it all the way in to get the most fulcrum. Again, pull through, no problem. And the last one, our big side cutters. So this will be no problem for this one at all. Clean cut all the way through, very little force needed, all right? So if you notice with the length of the handle of these also, you get a lot more leverage when you go to make your press. Therefore, more work goes into the actual cutting mechanism, all right? So that's simple wire, right? All right, so Philip T. Hoffman over here is gonna give us a little example of cutting on just regular, sprinkler line, all right? Tries with the multi-tool. Again, you have to set it at very depth, so it becomes an issue with making the cut. Unable to do it, right? So now we're gonna go with the lineman's pliers. This is what a lot of people carry with them, something that we even enforce in the fire academy for them to have. Again, you have to set it all the way in. So now the teeth become a problem where he's not able to clamp down well enough because of the teeth in order to make the cut. So he's not going to be able to cut that either. It makes just a little bit of a cramp, right? So the next one he's going to try is the side cutters. So he has a little bit of teeth, not a whole lot, but remember with the shortened handle, he's going to have a little bit of an issue of getting all the way through everything. So 2 cuts, he's through. No, not that big of a deal. Versus our one big pair of cutters. One simple motion, all the way through, even knocks off the excess. So, the next thing we're going to show you is what we have in our normal walls in our residential. If we're doing a wall breach or anything else, just a little coax cable. This is what we use for our TVs, for our communication lines, things like that, right? So, with our multi-tool, going through it, goes through one cut. Notice that it just crimps it. You heard the pop. So you got to line it up again, make the second cut, make a pull, almost all the way through, all right? So next is going to be the lineman's pliers. Set it into the teeth, clean cut. Side angles, very good cut. And then lastly, the big cutters. Very easy, all right? So we've talked about some cables. Now let's talk about some other things. So with rope, Phil's going to do some rope, and we're going to do a steel encased cable and see how well they cut with that. So multi-tool goes for the cut. You get the point. All right. Next one, lineman's pliers. Goes to a different place on the rope, sets it in. Remember, now this is a softer material, so the teeth that go to cut actually compress, then start the cut, versus like these cables where as soon as you make contact through that rubber, you're actually putting contact for the cut. So again, it's not going through, right? So now, side cut, or the wire cutters. One good clip. Now I still have to work with it a little bit. There we go. And then finally, the bad boy. See how well he gets through all of it. One simple cut, simple pull, he's good. All right. So the last one that we're going to cut is this It's a cable wrapped in a plastic, and there's 4 wraps on each one of the cable, all right? So this is probably our worst case scenario of something we're gonna go through, and I'm gonna show you something else just a second. So again, with the multi-tool, it's gonna take a lot of leverage. You got a lot of moving parts in here. Does not cut at all. Lineman's. Gets through the plastic okay. Doesn't start to cut the cable at all. Side cut, or the wire cutters. Two hands still can't press it through. And then lastly, the big cutters. So just a little bit of extra help with the second hand, it works. So if you ask what really can these do to make significance on our RIT team, worst comes to worst, we have metal decking, right? So with this, even with these blades being the way they are, cut through everything else, I'll actually be able to cut through that. There. So when you're making your tool selection for your RIT team, make sure you choose the appropriate tool. Obviously some of them work better than others, but this one actually worked the best. If you can find a spring-loaded one, that's going to be the best. You can cut through cable, cut through obviously the wire, cutting through anything else that you need. So when you're selecting your tools for your RIT, make sure you get what's appropriate for everything, not just what works for the little things here and there.